What is going on, Gamehouse? I am Germ here. Today we're going to be breaking down another off-meta pick, another fun and interesting strategy that not a lot of other people are out there using right now, but that you might be able to take advantage of to have some more fun in your games, do a little bit better in your games, gain some more LP, and climb up the ranks. This is another one of my favorite off-meta champions. This is Jarvan the Fourth. He can go so many different places. Obviously, historically, he has mostly been a jungler, but we've seen some different stuff. We've seen Jarvan support crop up in some metas before. We've seen Jarvan mid lane be a pretty good pick, but throughout his history, probably his second most played position is top lane, and that's what we're talking about today. Jarvan J4 in the top lane, which is a pick that, like I said, I started playing this game in preseason 4. Season 4, 5, I want to say in that area, Jarvan top lane was actually a really good pick, and it was a more common pick. Haven't seen it for quite some time, but it is starting to pop up more and more. We actually saw in professional play this weekend, Wonder, the top laner for Fnatic, played it against G2. Now, hey, it didn't go so good. I think it went like 1-5. I think they ended up losing that game. But it does show that Jarvan is being played a lot. A lot of pro players are playing it in solo queue. Some of them are starting to pull it out on stage. So this is something you want to keep in mind in a pick you might want to be looking out for. Now, we can see this Jarvan, he's scrapping from level 1 up in the top lane. He's up against Aatrox in this one, and this starts to get pretty crazy. He flashes the Q there, which is really nice. Aatrox has Ignite, and Jarvan still picks up the first blood. Yes, he does go down, but he has TP, and if you're a Jarvan picking up first blood with TP against Champion with Ignite, that's an insane lead. I mean, this lane should be over. The J4 should absolutely dominate things from here. Aatrox is in trouble. And it's funny because the summoner we're actually looking at here, Scave Patter, I don't know how you say this, but it's actually Wonder. Wonder played it on stage this weekend. He was playing it in solo queue leading up to it. And you can see here he used it to get first blood there, which is kind of interesting. Now, Jarvan the Fourth has a couple of different options. We've seen a lot of different J4 builds, rune page and stuff over the years. I want to say Electrocute has probably been the most common. You know, he has a really easy way to proc Electrocute. You're going to E, the E's going to hit them. You're going to Q, the Q's going to hit them. You're going to auto. That's 3 abilities. That's going to be Electrocute. He does a ton of upfront damage, so having Electrocute in the early game is going to help you do more damage, and that's fine. We've also seen some Conqueror. I've seen Grasp in the top lane can be very, very good as well. I don't think Wonder meant to drop the pink ward there, but he drops down a pink ward. I'm assuming I don't even know. He drops down a pink ward in the middle of the lane, but we've seen all those different ones. But it's funny because this J4 is none of those. This is not Conqueror. This is not Grasp. This is not Electrocute. Nothing like that. This is Aery. Jarvan in the top lane. This is Aery with Mana Flow Band, Adaptive Force, I think that one is called. Absolute Focus, my bad, not Adaptive Force. Adaptive Force is like ability power and AD. Absolute Focus, and then Scorch. And this is Domination Secondary with Taste of Blood and Treasure Hunter, 2 Adaptive Force runes and an Armor rune. Obviously, that's going to depend on whether you're up against AP, AD, whatever. But yeah, this page is pretty interesting, and this is what most all of the pros and high elo J4 top lanes are going right now. I think Rek'Sai thought he was going to die to that tower shot. I think he probably could have lived there, so that was a little bit inty from the Rek'Sai, but you know, that happens in solo queue, even in Grandmaster. I think Wonder is on this account. But yeah, this Aery J4, this is all about using your E to poke them down. I mean, you can see you have Aery, you have Scorch, and you have Absolute Focus. Absolute Focus, while above 70% HP, gain an adaptive bonus of up to 18 AD or 30 AP. So obviously you're going to be getting even more damage from that. So you putting all 3 of those together, I think Scorch recently got buffed as well. Makes your poke super, super annoying. Your E isn't a huge cooldown. Your E is a 12-second cooldown at level 1. So I mean, it's not like super low or anything, but he is going to start putting points in the E first, getting it down to like 11 seconds. But yeah, every time your E's up, you just want to try and drop it on their head. The range on it's pretty crazy. You can use it to obviously weaken them down by poking. But then every time you drop the E on them as well, you always have the threat of taking the Q and going in. And then if you EQ onto them, you have your W for a shield. You know, you're able to really get going and really be annoying. But yes, this is all about just poking it down with the E, the extra area damage, extra scorch damage, extra absolute focus damage, and you're just able to be so annoying. And it's actually really, really strong. I mean, J4 is already a lane bully. He's a really strong early game champion. He's always good in the early game, but I really think this rune page helps take that to the next level. And it's definitely not, like I said, it's not super, super common. I don't think it's what most people would think of right away, right off the bat, as like, oh, Aery's really good on J4, but it actually is really good on J4. As far as the build, what they're going on here, there's definitely a couple different ways you can go for the build on this J4, but interesting thing here, Wunder is actually starting a Doran's Ring. Doran's Ring, 2 pots, and a yellow ward. The E actually has an 80% AP ratio on it, so if this build is all about the E, all about poking out, all about spamming the E, getting that damage, getting that Doran's Ring early and getting some AP actually can be really, really good. It turns you into even more of a lane bully, even more of an early game champion, which is great. Now, he goes for the Iron Spike Whip, then he picks up, you know, the Chem Punk Chainsword. He's up against Aatrox, so he's trying to get some of that Grievous Wounds, trying to get some of that healing reduction stuff. Obviously, you know, that's not going to be mandatory. That's not going to be the normal first item. You can see he builds in a Ninja Tabbies and then Gore Drinker. Now, that is going to be the standard first item. The Gore Drinker is what most people are picking up first item, and I'm sure what Wunder would have picked up first item as well if he was not against Aatrox, where, you know, you're just going to be getting a ridiculous amount of healing, and cutting some of that healing might actually be really, really useful. So Gore Drinker first, Frozen Heart second is what he builds here as well. Obviously, Frozen Heart's going to be super, super good, especially if you're up against a lot of auto attackers, stuff like that, and obviously the Ninja Tabby is going to be helping there as well. And then there's also one other build. There is an Eclipse build that I think I saw Arma go in solo queue. You can go Eclipse first item as well if you want to be doing more damage, if you want to be more of that assassin style. But most people are going for that one more aggressive item, that Gore Drinker, and then pretty much just going full tank after that. You know, they're just trying to get as tanky as possible. Also, another kind of spicy and interesting thing that I have seen some people go, and we even see this on Jarvan in the jungle, is you can pick up Zhonya's as an option. You are getting some armor from that. You are getting some AP from that, like I said with that E. And then Zhonya's is really good on Jarvan because you're able to EQ ult, or you're able to flash ult or whatever, you know, use your one spell rotation, get your ult off, go deep into the backline. Then you're able to Zhonya's. And then, obviously, the idea is that hopefully your EQ will be back up, and you'll be able to EQ out or EQ again onto their carries or whatever, just help your team out. So Zhonya's actually can be a very, very interesting item, but there is some other good items that we can take a look at for him as well. Let me pull this up real quick. Some other items that people are going is, you know, Guardian Angel can be really, really good on him too. That seems kind of annoying. Maw, Sterox is good. You know, really any of these defensive items. Black Cleaver and Death's Dance I also have seen built a lot on him as well. So you're just trying to get tanky. You're trying to be, you know, a fighter, tank style champion, and then the Gore Drinker is going to help you get that additional life, get more annoying. But yeah, Eclipse definitely seems like a solid option, and some people are even going Sunfire Aegis as their mythic item, but obviously you can see what Wunder is going for here in this game, and I would say Gore Drinker is the most common item I'm seeing bought from a lot of the pro players. Also in this game, Wunder, like I said, is taking Flash and TP. I think that's fine. Obviously, Jarvan's going to be really, really good with Ignite too, since you're trying to be a lane bully. And actually, the highest win rate on him in solo queue is going to be TP with Ignite. So, hey, maybe that's something you want to check out. I really like Jarvan in all these different positions. I like Jarvan as a support, top laner, mid laner, jungler, whatever, because he's pretty easy to pull off. You know, for the most part, he's a straightforward champion, especially in a build like this. You're just spamming E every time it comes up, but then your trading pattern is really simple. You know, if you're trying to set up a gank for your jungler, or you're trying to escape a gank, or you're just trying to fight 1v1, you just got to EQ. That's all you got to do. But he definitely has some skill expression as well. There are times where you want to flash ult and then EQ out of your ult and keep their carries in the ult. That can be very, very strong, and you know, obviously I've seen some people do. You also have the option of, you know, trying to like EQ flash, and during your drag animation you can flash and, you know, turn yourself into a projectile that can knock people up. You know, he is a simple champion that definitely has some skill expression. You can definitely tell the difference between a good and a bad Jarvan, but a lot of the bad Jarvans are still overall going to be pretty useful. They're still going to get a lot done. And that's why I think this pick is pretty good. I think it's pretty strong. And like I said, we're starting to see more and more pro players play it in solo queue. And we're starting to see them even busted out in professional play as well. Jarvan in the top lane seeming to be pretty good. Also, I like these flex picks like this where, you know, in solo queue, if somebody sees you take Jarvan, they're probably going to assume it's jungle. And then, you know, you're going to be less likely to get counter picked, end up in some bad, you know, really, really nasty matchup or something like that. And I think that's always nice, especially in top lane where, you know, counter picks can make the game so unfun. There's just some unplayable top lane matchups. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about J4 top lane. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Make sure you subscribe, stay up to date on all the Game House's latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.